Cool, so here's my DA40 cockpit. So I recently purchased this, designed it all in CAD, got the sheet metal part bent and made. So real Cessna style master, where battery off turns off the alternator, and alternator off. No, wait, hold on. I think it's, yeah. So battery off turns everything off, alternator on turns everything on. All real switches. Two of these three work. These are powered by servos, and they both work. This has a stepper in it, and I haven't set up the stepper motor driver, and I haven't been happy with the design for this yet. Working down, I have a 3D printed key that fits over the switch. It's not spring-loaded to start position. Got my fuel pump and my pitot heat on and off. All these lights illuminate on the plane. This is supposed to be an amber bulb. It's green on all these. Got my flap position switch. Moving down. Haven't added anything for these. My throttle quadrant. It's all engraved. Very small problem is that there's a small beta detent that it has, and when you move it all the way forward, it hits before it gets to full rich. Similarly, a problem is that in the bottom position, it interferes with the fuel selector. The fuel selector I 3D printed, but I need to make this bottom part round for the first 1/4 inch, so that sits a little bit further flush. Because to move it to off, you have to lift this, and then it'll move to off. Here, as I said, this needs to be extended about 2 millimeters because it jams right now. Here's where the Hobbs meter goes. Here's volume and channel for the XM radio. And then here's where you're supposed to connect your headsets in the real plane. Another feature is that the rudder pedals are on rails. They slide out. I haven't yet made, I want to be able to put pins in different locations to fix it like every inch. The joystick is jointed, or control stick is jointed at the bottom, so you get some reasonable control feel. This 80/20 is super long, and then up here at the real autopilot disconnect switch, and you have the real push to talk button. This hole is too big for the switch I have for the control wheel steering. I haven't found the right control wheel steering button yet. And the elevator trim is supposed to come in the mail. The real switch is literally a $500 switch. So I found a replacement, and I want to install the replacement, see if it fits in this hole before printing another copy. It's taped together. The final version will be glued together. Then when it's done, I can cut it down to length, and then I could finish the electronics for the joystick. Yeah, so let's see. The last things to do are finish the electronics for the joystick, get in with some sandpaper to loosen that up, and then redesign it in CAD. Reprint that, or just take a drill to it because it just needs a circular hole. Depth stop gauges here, and configure this in software, wire this and configure this in software, build wire and configure, Then I'll have a full DA40 cockpit.